to Tales from Africa with our Auntie Angela.
Come on, kids, it's story time. Once upon a time, in the Ashanti Kingdom, there was a small village called Adansi. This village was known for its beautiful Kente cloth, which the people wove with great skill. Kofi, a 10-year-old boy, lived in this village with his mother and father. His father was the best weaver in all of Adansi, and Kofi dreamed of becoming a great weaver too. But no matter how hard he tried, Kofi could never get the threads right. His hands always got tangled, and the patterns never came out the way he wanted. One evening, after another failed attempt, Kofi sat alone outside his family's hut, feeling sad. His mother noticed and came to sit beside him. "What is troubling you, my son?" she asked gently. Kofi sighed and said, "I want to weave like father, but I just can't do it. No matter how hard I try, the cloth always looks wrong." His mother smiled softly and said, "Great weavers don't just work with their hands, Kofi. They also work with their hearts. You will find your way if you believe in yourself." That night, Kofi had a strange dream. In his dream, he saw an old man dressed in a golden kente cloth. The old man had the bright, kind eyes and spoke to Kofi in a gentle voice. "Kofi," he said, "I know you want to be a great weaver like your father. But first, you must understand the secret of weaving. Weaving is not just about threads. It's about weaving your dreams into the cloth. When you can do that, your hands will know what to do." The next morning, Kofi woke up feeling hopeful. He couldn't forget the old man's words. Could it be true that weaving was about more than just using his hands? He decided to try again, but this time he would remember to weave his dreams into the cloth. He went to his father's weaving shed and sat in front of the room. His heart was still full of doubt, but he remembered what his mother had said about believing in himself. As Kofi began weaving, he imagined the most beautiful patterns in his mind. Bright colors, bold shapes, and stories woven in every thread. He thought about the fields and rivers around Adansi, the animals and the people. His hands moved slowly at first, but soon they began to find a rhythm. For the first time, the threads weren't getting tangled. The cloth was starting to come together, and it looked like something magical was happening. Kofi worked for hours, and by the time he was done, he had woven a small piece of kente cloth. It wasn't as big or as perfect as his father's cloth, but it was his, and it was beautiful. Kofi smiled as he looked at the bright colors and patterns he had created. He ran to show his mother and father. "Look!" he shouted, holding the cloth high. His father took the cloth in his hands and examined it closely. Then he smiled proudly and said, "You have done it, Kofi. This is the work of a true weaver." The news spread quickly through the village. The people of Adansi came to see Kofi's first kente cloth, and they were amazed at the beauty of it. "He has his father's gifts," they whispered. From that day on, Kofi worked alongside his father, learning more and more about the art of weaving. With each new cloth, Kofi's skills grew, and soon his clothes were as beautiful as his father's. But Kofi never forgot the lesson he had learned. Weaving wasn't just about the threads. It was about putting your heart in the work, dreaming big and believing in yourself. And whenever a young child in the village wanted to learn to weave, Kofi would always smile and say, "Remember, it is not just your hands that make the cloth, it's your dreams." And so, Kofi became known as one of the greatest weavers in the Ashanti Kingdom, not just because of the beauty of his cloth, but because of the heart and the dreams he wove into each one. And that's the end of our story. 5 lessons to learn from the story. 1. Believe in yourself. Kofi struggled with weaving at first, but he learned to trust his abilities. This teaches us that self-belief is important when facing challenges. 2. Dreams inspire action. Kofi's dream helped him see that weaving wasn't just about skill, but also about imagination and heart. This reminds us that dreams can guide us towards success. 3. Perseverance leads to success. Despite many failures, Kofi kept trying until he finally succeeded. The lesson here is to never give up, even when things are difficult. 4. Greatness comes from the heart. Kofi realized that to become a great weaver, he needed to weave with his heart, not just his hands. This teaches us that passion and love for what we do make our work special. And finally, share your knowledge. When Kofi became a great weaver, he shared his wisdom with others, teaching them the value of dreams and heart in their work. This shows us the importance of helping others to learn and grow. And that's it today on Tales from Africa with me, Ijele. I'll see you again soon.